Let's take a quick poll in this room. How's our president doing, everybody? You know what? Despite the haters in Hollywood, despite the obstructionist Democrats, despite the fake news media, Donald Trump is winning for the United States of America.
All right, we're up on a Super Tuesday, November 6th. It's Election Day 2018. It's finally here. We've seen all the ads. We've seen all the campaigning, and we've finally arrived to the day everything's going to come down. We're going to talk all about that all night tonight. But first, for America, this show, I'm honored to bring on a very close friend of mine. Lara Trump is a senior advisor to the Trump 2020 campaign, and you saw her out there on the campaign trail. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Boy, and I'll never forget, Lara, that during the 2016 election, leading up to the election, and the polls said he can't win, and the polls said he can't be the nominee,
yep.
and the polls said he was going to come in last, and he was going to be awful, and things were never going to work out, and if we put him up, he'll never beat Hillary. And I said, stop looking at the polls. Look at those people.
It's true.
What did you see when you were out there?
No, well, it was the exact same thing. I knew that the polls were wrong. And it's funny because I traveled all over this country, and my husband and I never traveled together. We were always campaigning in different areas, as we did in the midterms these past couple months. But we would call each other at night, and I would say, I'm in Florida, and he would say, I'm in Michigan, and I had the best day, and there's no way that we're going to lose, because the crowds that would come out to see us, we're not the candidate. We would have these huge crowds, people so excited, people coming up saying, I'm a first-time voter. I voted Democrat my whole life, and I'm voting for Donald Trump. We knew that there was something happening in this country. There was a feeling that we had, and then you go to the rallies with my father-in-law. Unbelievable turnouts, people so excited, and I knew that the media was missing something, that the polls were not accurately reflecting what was happening in this country.
The pollsters really got it wrong last time. But here's my question. Are you seeing the same level of enthusiasm when you go out in these? Now, remember, they're coming out because of your father-in-law, not to vote for your father-in-law.
Right. Well, no, I have to tell you, the enthusiasm that I have seen personally, I was in Florida yesterday with Ron DeSantis, with a couple of great Republican candidates for Congress, Brian Mast, obviously on behalf of Rick Scott as well. We had, at the last stop I went to, about 1,000 people there. Okay, and again, this is a midterm election. Then you look at the rally that I just was speaking at there in the intro in Houston. We had 100,000 people RSVP for that rally, 22,000 people inside, about 50,000 people outside. It was unreal. So I really think that we have a similar thing happening right now as we saw happen in 2016. I feel like the polls are, again, not accurately reflecting, but I think a lot of it is because people are a little bit scared to speak up and say that they're supporting Republicans, because you immediately get labeled. People are crazy. You hear Maxine Waters and Eric Holder and everybody out there, calling for violence and aggression against Republicans, Trump supporters. I just don't think the polls are right.
When I tell this story quite often, and the reason why I tell it is because I was on air during the 2016 campaign and election, and I was constantly being berated by fellow co-hosts who sometimes called themselves conservatives. And I kept telling this story over and over again because it kept happening. I'd go to a restaurant or a bar and have a beer, and people would come up to me and they'd go, I'm going to vote for Trump.
Yes.
And I would say, well, why do you have to whisper that? Well, I don't feel comfortable. And that was a good indication that these polls were wrong, because people didn't want to say, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, but for whatever reason, but when push came to shove, they came out. Question here now, and I don't even know if the pollsters are right about this, but the pollsters are saying the midterms are going to swing blue because of the women vote, the female vote. Where are we? Is the Republican Party with women right now?
I actually think there are so many more women that are on board with not just the president, but the entire Republican Party than will ever come out and say it. Because for some reason, as a woman, we're made to feel badly if we're not voting for Democrats, as though we're voting against our own kind for some reason. It's ridiculous. I am so proud to say I'm a Republican and I'm a woman. I think at the end of the day, when women are by themselves in a voting booth, they're thinking about their families. They're thinking about safety. They're thinking about the future of this country when no one's looking, they'll never tell a soul, they'll never tell the exit pollster on the way out. They're going to vote for Republicans because they like the direction of this country just like the rest of us.
I will tell you, and I'm wondering if you're part of it, but I think Trump 2020 had 2 ads. One of them we'll get to in a second, controversial. But the other ad, and I literally picked up the phone and called the White House when I saw it for the first time. I was in South Carolina. I called, and I got through, not to your father-in-law, but to a senior advisor. And I said, this is the best political ad I've ever seen. And basically what it is was talking, it was from a female's perspective, a woman, maybe a single mother, I'm not sure, but a woman's perspective of putting her daughter on the stage, giving her music lessons because she could afford to for the first time ever because of the Trump economy. Right. That was a powerful message. Where did that come from?
Well, we talked about this for a long time. I'll give Brad Parscale, our campaign manager, a lot of credit for it, but it was a group effort, and we did want to do something different. All you see out there right now are the ads attacking people. I mean, I flew back from Florida last night on a flight with the television screen. I couldn't get through the channels fast enough to get away from all the ads. It's crazy. So we said, why don't we do something that actually touches people on an emotional level, that really reflects what this president is doing. And the reality is he is giving opportunities to people that they otherwise wouldn't have had. They have more money in their pocket thanks to the tax cuts. They're able to send their child to violin lessons like you saw in our ad, maybe, and they wouldn't have been able to do it before. And then you see at the end of the ad, there's the girl many years later on stage. It's very emotional, but we wanted to take a step back, take a step away from all the nastiness that is often found in these political ads and say, when you go to vote on November 6th, think of your kids, think of the future for your children, and I hope that we did that.
You know, you can almost repeat that same ad with African Americans and Hispanics. The same thing is happening. Everyone's doing better. Every demographic is doing better. Women, clearly, African Americans and Hispanics, so the lowest unemployment in decades, if not ever.
Right.
And household incomes are up.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting to see what has happened in 21 months, not even 2 full years of President Donald Trump. And I knew he would do this. I knew that's why I got out and fought so hard in 2016. That's why we all did. Now we have results to deliver to people and say, here's what this president can do. Let him keep doing it. Go vote on Tuesday. If you haven't voted yet, you can still go. Polls close 7, 8 p.m. Go vote, because if you don't, all of that is at stake right now. The Democrats have been very clear what they want to do. They want to take back the tax cuts. They're going to increase your taxes. They're going to obstruct, resist. It doesn't matter what this president wants to do, how great it will be for the people of this country. So I'm very proud of what he's doing, and I love that we have the opportunity to campaign on results now.
So when you talk about this, and I do this on air, I'll go on CNN or MSNBC or wherever, the left-leaning, if not left-wing hosts will inevitably come back and say, yes, but Barack Obama set the table for Donald Trump's economy.
Oh, well, that's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, Barack Obama told us very clearly that the best we could expect in this country was 2% growth. That was the new normal. Now, under President Donald Trump, 21 months in, not even the 8 years that we had President Obama, it's over 4%, and it's going up from there. And so what we have are real results from this president, and I think everybody knows things turned around in this country. The stock market started going up. Everything started changing. Momentum started building.
I'll give you one more.
After Donald Trump was elected.
I'll give you one more. Wages. And you can go backwards in time beyond Barack Obama. You can go back to George Bush years. Wages never grew.
Yeah.
There were ups and downs. Clearly, Bush had his really rough years. Obama had some rough years and some good years, but wages never grew throughout that period, almost more than a decade, going even further back to the end of Clinton. But now, for the first time, and this was the first report I saw, wages actually show a substantial gain. You can't give the credit to Barack Obama on that.
You can't.
This is one that he owns.
Of course. And by the way, Eric, you have a businessman in the White House, a man that understands how the economy works, that has been talking about this for years. I think he got, like all of us, so frustrated with sitting at home and watching what was happening to our country. He finally said, I got to do something, and he's doing it.
So I love what he has done with the economy. And I heard the other day, and I have to ask you about this. You heard the other day, I heard him say, well, the economy's doing so good. No, I don't really want to talk about it. Boy, I would be hitting that home, because that message resonates in middle America, where people are struggling to take their family out to dinner or to a movie or to get music lessons for their daughter. Instead, there was this push towards the immigration issue. Now, I know this is important to the base, but let's take a look at, well, we know about the ad that the other Trump 2020 ad, which focused on an illegal immigrant who murdered some people, right? That he got a lot of pushback from it. Even Fox pulled the ad from their airways, so did CNN. They pushed back, MSNBC. This is the president's response to this controversy surrounding the ad watch.
Other networks are trying to run your immigration ad that you posted last week, saying that it was too racist. Do you have a response to that?
I don't know about it. I mean, you're telling me something I don't know about. We have a lot of ads, and they certainly are effective based on the numbers that we're seeing.
Well, Mr. President, a lot of people said that ad was offensive. Why did you like that ad? What were you trying to
Well,
say?
a lot of things are offensive. Your questions are offensive a lot of times, so you know.
So I think the immigration issue is a plus for the Trump base.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, I think what I give this president so much credit for doing is bringing up things that actually matter to people, but they otherwise probably wouldn't hear about. Because when you look at these thousands of people, Eric, rushing towards our border, ready to come in no matter what, and they're not going to follow our rules, they're not going to obey the law. They've been very clear on that. They're going to bust through the borders no matter how they can. Just come on in. The president has to deal with them, and he wants to make people aware that live on these border states what is going to happen. So I give him a lot of credit because I don't think the mainstream media would cover it as much as they have now, thanks to the president.
And it's not only a border, as you obviously well know, it's not just a border issue. I mean, if half these cities like San Francisco, LA, even New York, Washington become sanctuary cities, once these illegal immigrants come, or whatever you want to call them, illegals come into the country, they can go to these places and not get deported. It becomes a very, very scary place. Not to mention, overcrowding of schools and our over busted budgets on welfare. We offer those things. Let's talk a little bit about Democrats. Something happened over the weekend that I thought was absolutely atrocious. I think we've seen a lot of it, but I want to show you the clip again because this is absolutely despicable. Pete Davidson taking a shot at a hero. Watch.
This guy's kind of cool, Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, come on, man.
Yo, hold on. You may be surprised to hear he's a congressional candidate from Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie. I'm sorry, I know he lost his eye in war or whatever. Whatever. Yeah. All right.
I just, obviously it's despicable. The audience laughing about it was awful. Lauren Michaels, you got some work to do, my friend. Take a listen to Dan Crenshaw's heroic and really taking the high road response. Listen.
What passes for humor these days is not what used to pass for humor. And I think that's the big tragedy in all this, right? Like, why can't we just be funny again? What happened to our comedy in this country? Why can't we give the American people a break and separate comedy from politics? And this one was pretty inappropriate.
All right, tell us, Lara, inside Trump world, that whole moment on SNL and the aftermath since in the following 3 or 4 days since.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we owe everything to our veterans, to our war heroes. And he lost his eye at war or whatever. You know what? He lost his eye so that Pete Davidson could sit there and make a really ridiculous, tasteless joke about him. We have a president who loves our military, who loves our veterans, and anyone doing or saying anything like this, I think, is absolutely disgusting. And you know what? Maybe it actually helps in his campaign. Maybe people are going to pay more attention and go on and vote for him now. I hope that is the result. But we see that there's no low that's too low for the left, for SNL. I mean, they make fun of my family all the time, and they get everybody wrong, of course.
So you're not cutting him any slack because Ariana Grande dumped him?
Oh, is that what we should be doing? Okay. Well, then I'm sure I'm wrong there.
He's despicable. And listen, I'm against all types of boycotts, but boy, I got to tell you, this comes close to me pushing for one of those. Lara, I just want to say thank you. You've been amazing. You've been an amazing advocate for the president and all of us who, are really thankful for what he's doing in there. Will you stick with us for a second?
Yeah.
I'm going to show everyone around behind the scenes of the studio, because this studio in about 45 minutes is going to flip to the election special studio. Michelle Malcolm is going to sit in that seat right there, and we're going to break down the election from 6 p.m. all the way till it's time to close, maybe 12 o'clock, maybe 1, who knows, but we'll be here. Make sure you stick around for that. And by the way, it's open. It's the open stream for anyone who wants to watch CRTV tonight to the election studios, election special. Now, I want to show everyone the studio. Now we have a Steadicam guy right here. I can't show you the Steadicam, but he's got this whole contraption, and he's gonna lead us out. Lara,
all right, here we go.
And so we have the big boards. This one's just paper, but here's screens. Nate's gonna break down the races in the screens over here. You see the TVs. Can you get the lights up top? Can you do that?
Hopefully we'll see a lot of red on these screens.
A lot of red on the screens.
Yeah.
This board will turn into election special board. We have the Red Bulls down there. Michelle Malkin and I are going to drink some Red Bull.
Yeah, you'll need a lot of those,
We're gonna need
for
a lot
sure.
of those. Beth is over there. She's going to be stage managing. We have our sound guys over here. It looks like a Secret Service guy to me. And everyone's scuttling. There we go. There's the edit bay over here. We do some, this is where all the smart people hang out. Watch your step going back here. There's Nate. Nate's going to break down the Senate and the House races.
Going, everybody.
And that's Gaston. If you remember Gaston from the Meat Mountain on the bus tour, that was Gaston.
I feel like I need to check that out.
He's president of CRTV, so all you people who want a show on CRTV, hit up Gaston.
This is your guy.
That's the guy. Well, we'll go walk past makeup. There's our Alexis, our wonderful makeup artist.
Is the best.
She's the best. Here's Control. Hey guys, Control, can you get Control in here at all? SOT 106, anybody? Alicia, SOT 106? Inside joke, SOT 106. And I want to show you one more thing. Lara, you're welcome to some Chick-fil-A if you're into it. Here's some more smart people over here.
I am from North Carolina, so I appreciate that.
There's Ricky, the executive producer of CRTV. And look at all our food.
Oh, wow. You guys are ready for the night.
Yeah, we got Chick-fil-A.
Look at this.
I think they cleaned it up a little bit. That's it. Lara, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're great.
Absolutely.
And let's go out and win.
Let's
keep the House, keep the Senate, and we'll still have
and we'll be back
6 more years at 2020.
Got that right.
1600.
Donald Trump.
All good? All right, we'll see you in about 40 minutes or so, Ricky. 40 minutes from now, election special. Michelle Malkin and I, and Bill O'Reilly, Dinesh D'Souza, Sebastian Gorka, Lara, who else? Anyone else?
Amazing.
Mike Lindell, maybe.
Mike's the best.
Mr. My Pillow. Adele Scalia, daughter-in-law of Antonin Scalia, the former Supreme Court Justice. Can we get Mike Lindell to bring us some My Pillows for the chairs? We would be sitting there for 6 hours.
Whatever you want, Eric.
Whatever we want. Okay, CRTV out.
Tuesday, November 6th. Conservatives battled the resistance at the voting booth.
Do you have a chance to reject these disgraceful political hacks?
CRTV's Eric Bolling and Michelle Malkin bring you the election they won't show you on cable. Live updates, real analysis, without the censors and without the cable spin. The live special kicks off at 6 p.m. Eastern with bold, commercial-free coverage straight to your device.
Why join our growing community here at Levin TV? You wanted to talk about constitutionalism. We do it. You wanted patriotism. That's who we are. We'll discuss history, real history. We'll discuss philosophy and what it means to current events. We want to talk about conservatism, the principles that undergird our society. We love this country, and we want the world to know it. And we want you to participate with us. CRTV is liberty's voice.